So, I get this is a bit preemptive doing a retrospective of my channel this soon. And by this soon, I mean it's been what? It's been almost 9 years since I created my YouTube channel. So, you saw, I don't know how many of you actually subscribed to Sperry or how many of you were subscribed to him in the first place, but he made a video detailing his 10 years on Toontown and YouTube. Well, YouTube mostly, but you know, I haven't been around quite that long. I've only been around for, again, about 9 years. But, I don't know, I felt like it was a good time to give a retrospective on my channel because what's the point of waiting another year or so? Because this channel is basically just going to collect dust. This channel doesn't really have a future. So, I might as well just have another excuse to make another video for those of you who want to see another video from me, another long video at that. This is probably going to be the first long, serious video I've made in, yeah, about 2 years since I left the YouTube community in Toontown. So, where did it all begin for me, for Mallow45, for Master Milton? Well, I started playing the game in the summer of 2006. The way, I'd already known about the game for a while. I saw all the commercials, and it really looked like a fun game, but because I was a little kid, I didn't really have, you know, the spending power and whatnot to just get on the game and buy a membership, so I didn't bother, but one day I was just sitting in my parents' room watching TV over the summer, and I saw another commercial for the game, and I was just thinking, man, this would be a good time to try out this game because I am quite bored. So, I went to my mom and asked her to sign me up, and she helped me sign up for an account, and that's how it all started. Come to think about it, even though I haven't been on YouTube for 10 years, I've actually been on the game for 10 years, so was I 10 years. So, I started playing the game and I basically fell in love instantly. I really liked the game when I first started playing. I remember after the first day I played it, I could not go to sleep that night because I was just so excited to wake up and play the game some more. I really liked it when I first started playing. I just thought it was the game to end all games, and I wish I could get as excited about a game as I did. Wish I could get as excited about another game again as much as I did about Toontown, because the first time I played Toontown, man, I enjoyed it so much. So, I played the game for about almost 2 years before I discovered that there were Toontown videos on YouTube. One day in about 2008, I had recently discovered YouTube. I had recently started going on it quite a bit, and I thought, what if I just searched, Toontown into this search bar? And what do you know? I found that there were indeed plenty. Okay, the voice recorder stopped. It paused for some reason, but anyway, as I was saying, when I had someone, oh yeah, I had people tell me, a specific example would be Frizzy Dog and Pop. I had him tell me that Toontown Adventure was hilarious. It was funny to laugh at, and that makes a lot of sense because it was it was just so edgy, and I was trying so hard to make it a serious thing, but it was probably just really funny to laugh at because it was a 11, 12, 13-year old trying to be dead serious, and it just came out as really edgy and cringy. So I can see that, older people probably just got a good laugh out of it, and the younger people, they really enjoyed it. They really enjoyed the quote unquote story behind it, even though it was all just absolute convoluted garbage. that probably had a bunch of plot holes and whatnot. That was an incoherent mess. I really wish I could go back and watch these videos because it's been a long time, and I'd really like to see these videos again because I would probably get a good laugh at from watching them because they were bad. But I deleted them a long time ago for some reason. I think uh, I'll get to that later, but yeah, I deleted them a long time ago. So if any of you, I doubt it, but it's worth asking, but if any of you downloaded the videos and still have them, then, giving them to me would be cool because I'd like to watch them again because right now I have absolutely no way to watch those and I would like to watch them again. Oh, goodness gracious. So, Toontown Adventure, I made 7 episodes of it, and the way it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be those 7 episodes. Now, fast forward 2 years later, and it's summer. It's the summer, well, not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years. It's the summer before I start high school. And it's the beginning of the summer, and I think it's a few weeks in, and I'm pretty bored. It's pretty slow. Not really anything to do. I can't drive because I was 14, so I couldn't go anywhere, so I was just at my house all the time, bored out of my mind. So I remembered Toontown. I remembered, oh yeah, I played that game. Man, that game was awesome. And I went on YouTube. I was watching a lot of my old videos, and I just got so nostalgic. I was just thinking, wow, this game, this game was great. I had such a blast on this game, and wow, these were good times. And it really made me miss the game, and I kind of wanted to, get back on it because it was summer. I didn't have anything else to do, and paying for the game wasn't that expensive. It was $10 a month, which I think is actually ludicrous for a game like Toontown, because at this point it was pretty outdated. But in general, paying $10 a month, that's not going to destroy your wallet or anything. So I decided to give the game another go. So I was really glad to be back. I reunited with some old friends like Spoonful of Pasta and Cool Ace being the most notable friends that I reunited with. It was good to see them again, playing with them again. And again, I started making some videos. The quality of these videos, it was a little better, but it wasn't great. You know, they were at first they were pretty random. Like I just randomly recorded a VP, that kind of thing. But what I ended up doing, what I ended up doing later on, is I started trying to solo bosses. I again got inspiration from my good friend Sperry or Spoonful of Pasta because it just looked fun. I watched his solo videos and I thought, man, this looks fun. I really want to do this. This is awesome. And I decided to try my hand on it. And it was really cool because basically everything I did on the game, I had a reason behind it because this may come off as selfish or whatever, but I don't care. It's a game. Fun side note, guys. It, if soloing is selfish or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are all just people playing a video game, and SOS cards are just part of that game, and they have no real meaning in the real world. So you really shouldn't feel bad about soloing bosses. I mean, it's a game. We play it for fun. Chill. So, anyway, I started working on my suits pretty hardcore, and the reason for this is I wanted to solo bosses, but I didn't have any max suits, so I couldn't just go in over and over again and get rewards, so I had to work on these suits to be able to get my rewards. And I think the most important one I should focus on was Boss Bot, because I really like getting fires. I really like using those in solos, because they were easy. You click a button, the cog is gone, no matter its level, and no matter if it was a V2.0 or not. So I think Boss Bot was definitely a big one that I worked on that went towards my soloing goals, and that was basically why I played the game, why I worked on everything, because I wanted to solo every boss. So I soloed every boss. I ended up soloing the VP, then the CFO, and then the big one, the CEO, and then I soloed the CJ because I didn't like Lawbot very much, so I did it last. So, and after that, actually, this was after I soloed the CEO, actually, a few months after that, I started to discover the discussion part of YouTube, of the YouTube Toontown community, I discovered people like Frizzy Dog and Pop and Coach Z, at the time, they were the front runners of the Toontown commentary ranting part of the site. So, I watched them a lot. They had a lot of content. Frizzy in his heyday in the Toontown YouTube community, that he had a lot of content. He made a lot of videos, and I always loved every single one of them, and I was really inspired because he made it seem like a lot of fun because he had a lot of charisma and he had a way with words. So, I was pretty motivated by that, and I really wanted to try my hand at rank. Alright guys, the recording keeps pausing for whatever reason. I know, okay, the last recording I was talking about Frizzy. He inspired me to basically start ranting and commentating and whatnot. So basically, what happened is, I got my own mic and I started my own discussions and commentary videos. And my first one being, it was, I believe, a random it was just a random VP commentary. It wasn't a solo or anything. It wasn't a serious discussion. It was just a VP commentary that was, in all honesty, it was a pretty bad video because I didn't have anything interesting to say. I was just commenting on the game. I was just breathing really hard into the mic, and I was being pretty inconsiderate to the audience, and I was kind of assaulting their ears and whatnot. And I didn't have anything interesting to say, like I said. But you know, I was having fun, and people were still enjoying the videos despite their pretty bad quality. And, you know, through commentating and ranting, I ended up being friends with Frizzy, which I was pretty happy about at the time because like I said, he was a really big inspiration for me. I ended up becoming friends with him, Lefty Lemonzilla, and Kyle. You know, at that point, it became really fun playing the game and making videos because, you know, we were on Skype together. It was different from what the way I'd played the game previously, because the way I'd played the game previously, talk the way I talk to people on the game, it was kind of difficult because to keep up a conversation on Toontown and Toontown alone, for one thing, you have to be really careful of what you say because the filter was really strict. And another thing you had to be careful about is, you know, after a while, the whispers in the chat bubbles would just disappear. So that was quite annoying. So, getting Skype and being able to just talk with our voices, that was really fun, and I really enjoyed it because it's something I'd never done before. I'd never had voice calls. I'd never done Skype or anything like that. So it was pretty fun. And later on, Sperry, or Spoonful of Pasta, he got back into the game and he got Skype and a mic, so we ended up also, welcoming him into the discussion aspect of Toontown YouTube, and we added him to our Skype calls and whatnot, and it was just a fun time. The last I'd heard of him, he had quit Toontown about 6 or 7 months before in December because he he just burnt himself out on the game like really badly. He had maxed Cashbot and he had grinded a lot of Lawbot, and he just ended up being tired of the game after he did a solo CJ at I think level 25 Bigwig, and after that he just kind of disappeared off the face of the planet, and I didn't hear from him for a long time. So that summer, when he came back, it was really good to hear from him again, and he ended up being a pretty big part of the Toontown YouTube community. So that summer, basically what happened, one of the things, well, there's actually a lot of stuff that happened over that summer, some good, some bad. I think that summer is pretty well established that the four corners of the YouTube community were me, Kyle, Frizzy, and Lefty, because at that point, Coach Z had given up Toontown. He had given up YouTube because he felt that his videos weren't helping at all. He was trying to, help Toons get better at the game, but he felt like they weren't improving, so he felt like making his videos was pointless. And he also felt like the game wasn't fun anymore because of the lack of updates and yada yada yada. You've heard all that before. You know why he quit. I don't know why I'm explaining it. You can go watch his video on why he quit. So yeah, he quit and we became the four corners of the YouTube community. So that was all good and dandy. It was pretty fun, but it didn't last because Kyle got terminated. And what happened with that is basically he was doing silly hacks on a free account called on a toon named, I think it was Catmeister, and he was just doing silly stuff in the VP lobby, and that account got terminated, big deal. But what he didn't know is that he got IP banned for it. So, not knowing that, one day he logs on to Kyle ready to do a back nine or something, ready to play some Toontown, fight some bosses. And he gets on, and his account is just immediately terminated because he was IP banned, and he didn't know it. So all his work was just gone forever, and there was no way to get Kyle back. He did end up playing again, though. As you all know, he made a Dog of All Trades toon. I think he made two more of those, and they both got terminated. And then there was Incredibeast, which he was able to hold on to for a long time, which I think got terminated like the day before the game closed, or the day the game closed, or something like that. It was for something silly, but it didn't really matter because he, the game was done. We all got terminated in the end, so it doesn't really matter. So backtracking a bit, Kyle's toon got terminated, and then Frizzy made a rant on terminations and banning, and in that video he mentioned Kyle, and I think he talked about how Kyle basically deserved to get terminated, and Kyle did not take that too well, and they ended up being at odds, and they stopped being friends. So the whole four corners thing, maybe we were still the four corners of YouTube. We were still the, most popular parts of the discussion aspect of YouTube, Toontown, but we weren't a tight-knit group anymore. We weren't a group of friends anymore. Frizzy and Kyle were at odds. So, but me, Lefty, and Frizzy were still friends, and me, Lefty, and Kyle were still friends, but all four of us, we weren't all friends anymore. So that was kind of saddening. So, during the summer of 2012, something else also happened. I ended up making a lot of friends that summer. A lot of friends on Skype and Toontown. The most notable ones were probably Derp Kirby or Zias, Murphy, aka Connor, and Ugly Corny, aka Zach. Those were definitely some really good friends that I made that summer, and I still talk to them to this day. And it was pretty common for me to be in a Skype call at night with about 8 to 10 people playing Toontown every single night until 4 a.m. or something like that. It was a pretty fun time. Oh yes, and of course I can't forget to mention my good friend Alex, or Max, memer extraordinaire. He's definitely a pretty good friend that I still talk to this day. He is quite the silly guy. And other friends I met were Landon, who's also a pretty silly guy, Lennon, who I don't talk to as much anymore, but I still talk to him from time to time. and he is also a pretty cool guy. And there are probably some people that I'm missing out right now, but there were just so many friends that I made that year. It's hard to think of all of them off the top of my head right now, but you know who you are. You guys are cool. So, summer 2012, Skype calls every night. Awesome. It was awesome time. Awesome times for a 14-year-old kid who couldn't really wait. No, 15. It was awesome times for a 15-year-old kid who couldn't really do anything or go anywhere because I didn't have a car because I was not yet 16. So that was basically the only choice I had. So something not so good that happened during this summer was Lefty's 137 tune got terminated. It was terminated and there was no way to get it back. He did have a way around terminations, which with the whole login token business, that has been explained before in previous videos, so I'm not going to bother explaining it now. But basically, you guys know that Toontown figured out a way around it with their whole Moderator X business. There probably was no actual Moderator X, and it was just Toontown. It was just, you know, a combination of a few monitors probably, and we were just taking it too seriously with this whole Moderator X. In reality, it was just like the Toontown admin just sitting there saying, "Oh, it's him again. Terminate. All right, it's done. That's over with." So that's probably all it was. It wasn't any cool Moderator X business like we hyped it up to be because we were teenagers. So Lefty's tune was gone. So that that wasn't good for the ranting community. Even though he did try a few times to, make another tune and get back into the game, but they all ended up in failures because Disney had basically blacklisted him from the game. So, he was basically done. They weren't going to let him play again. He tried so many times, and they always terminated him within a few days of him making a new account. So, backtracking a little bit, one of the first accounts he tried to make, I think it was a horse. I don't remember what its name was, but yeah, it was definitely a horse. So, oh, okay, that's weird. For whatever reason, it said the recording was paused. So, sorry for that. Sorry for that pause. It said the recording was paused, but it's still going. So, I apologize for that. So, anyway, Lefty. He ended up making... Okay, I ended up making an account for him. As you all know, I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. And I put the email that was also for my main account to his account because I was just too lazy to make another email. Boy, let me tell you, I still kick myself for that to this day because I know it doesn't really matter because in the end we all got terminated, but good lord, how could I could not have been more stupid in that moment. So I made that account and a few days later he got terminated. And then just like, oh well. So went on with my business as usual, still playing the game. Nothing out of the ordinary except a few days later I come home and I'm okay, I wasn't terminated, but I had a phone ban. And I actually, for some reason, I was completely ignorant as to why I had a phone ban, even though it should have been clear as day. So I call in, and they tell me, you were... Actually, this makes me remember another point. I was actually phone banned over the summer, simply because I was associated with Kyle and Lefty because I had them on my friends lists, and they warned me that I should not really associate with them and I should delete them off my friends list. And I told Kyle and Lefty about this, and they were not happy about it, but they understood, and I ended up deleting them off of my Toontown friends list. So fast forward to back to the present where I'm describing now, and they, told me, they warned me about, not associating with them. And what did I do? I ended up making an account for Lefty and using the email that was associated with Master Milton. So, they didn't have any other choice but to terminate me, because they had to if an account was terminated, any account that had that email, it has to be terminated too. So I was cornered. I didn't have any way to stop it. So Master Milton was gone forever. And this was basically the end of the third era of my Toontown YouTube career. Now, despite the end of the third era, that didn't deter me. Right away, actually not completely right away, because I uploaded a video that was titled, "This is a serious video, farewell Toontown." But sure enough, the next day, I uploaded another video that said Mallow45 rises up again. Actually, no, I think it was the next day. I don't know if it was the next day or the same day, but it was definitely shortly after. And I created a tune named Marx. And no, it's not based off of Karl Marx. It was based off of Marx, a boss in Kirby Superstar Ultra, I think it was. That's definitely where I got the name for the boss from. I got the name. That's definitely where the only place I've encountered the boss. So, yeah. So I named my tune Marx, and I later changed it to Spade through dishonest means. I hacked to change it, even though I think I lied about it, because I think I said it because it was associated with Karl Marx, which sounds like a legit reason, but it wasn't the reason. I just hacked to change it because I wanted to be Spade again, because I also hacked for the metal shirt. So, and having the metal shirt and the buckle shorts, I basically looked just like Spade because I was a royal blue dog. So I was like, I changed my name to Spade. Let's go. So I changed my name to Spade, and I was Spade again. All right, sorry, this thing paused again, but I think I left off on me and Kyle. We made new tunes, so he made Incredibeast, and I made Mark's later Spade, and we continued playing the game without Lefty and without Frizzy, because I forgot to mention Frizzy. Another thing that happened is Frizzy quit Toontown in the summer of 2012, and this was after Lefty got terminated, and this was after Kyle's got terminated for the third time. So that was a pretty bleak moment, because I was basically at that point I was basically left alone as the only corner standing of the four corners of YouTube, Toontown. And that ended shortly after that too, because of Master Milton getting terminated. So Frizzy was gone, Lefty was gone, so me and Kyle started anew. He was Incredibeast and I was Spade. So what happened was my videos, they really started to drop in quality, because at this point I was kind of obsessed with getting back to where I was when Milton got terminated. I really wanted another high tune, so I just started playing the game way too much, and I cared less about my videos, and they started to drop in quality greatly. Not exactly, frame rate and all that, and editing, because the editing was never spectacular to begin with. But I started to, just rush the videos, and they were unoriginal, and all of that. They were just there. I kind of just started to repeat myself, because I just started uploading random commentary videos of me and my friends on Skype in the VP or whatever, and it got pretty stale. So that was a thing. And like I said, I began playing the game way too much, and my grades started to suffer. By suffer, I mean, I started to get a few B's when usually I got all A's, because high school was bullcrap. So it wasn't that big a deal in big picture, but my parents weren't too happy about that. And a little later on, I ended up severing my friendship with Kyle, because for some reason I got the conceited idea to make a community rant. Like I had the right to do that. Like I was oh man, like I was the god of Toontown or something, the god of the Toontown YouTube community, and I made some awful community rant calling out a bunch of people, some notable people and some completely random people, like Mousemail. I think, according to Sperry, I roasted Mousemail for 5 minutes when he didn't really deserve it. So Mousemail, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But I ended up calling out Kyle in that video too, and I gave away something he didn't want people to know, which I didn't really have any business giving away anyway. So he became very upset with me, and we ended up not being friends for a while. And we, he was definitely pretty hostile towards me, which, I understand. Because I kind of, I really shouldn't have gone there and gave away what he did not want me to give away. So later on, we did become friends again, and we let it go. He apologized to me and said that he didn't really have a reason for, being so hostile towards me and, severing our friendship. And, we let it go. I let bygones be bygones, and we became friends again, and everything was good. So I moved on to another channel, which you guys may remember is ATL Spade 45, which was kind of a crap show. I don't think I made any good videos on that channel. It was pretty crappy. And the reason I made that channel, I don't know if I ever revealed this because I'm pretty sure I came up with some BS reason as to why I moved on to ATL Spade, was because my monetization on Mallow45 got revoked. So I couldn't make money from my videos anymore, and I was pretty upset about it because, I wanted to, I liked making videos, but, I felt like also receiving some money for it. I thought that was a pretty cool deal, and I had made quite a bit. I had made a few $100s. I was about to receive my first check, and then my monetization got revoked because I was accused of boosting, and I didn't really have a way to prove that it wasn't me, so I was just kind of out of luck. Basically, what happened is on one of my videos, someone spammed me and left hundreds of comments, and they thought I was boosting, so they ended up revoking my monetization. I didn't get my money, and I wanted to get monetized again, so I moved to ATL Spade, and I never actually monetized my videos there, so I didn't, because eventually along the way I just stopped caring about that. So yeah, I never did get that monetization back. So I moved to ATL Spade, and my videos dropped in quality. I stopped making as many, and they weren't as good. Granted, I don't think my videos were ever that good to begin with, because my videos, honestly, they were basically just random incoherent messes. Even my quote unquote discussion videos and rants, they didn't have a direction, they weren't scripted. I didn't have anything, Now, if I were to make videos, commentary videos, which this is what I'm doing now, I wouldn't script them, but I would make a document and put bullet points of all the main topics I wanted to cover, and then, if the topic is really important, also put 2 or 3 subtopics under there. That's how I would make videos now, because it would help me keep my train of thought, and I would be able to be coherent and not get off topic and repeat myself and have a bunch of filler in my commentary, like yeah, so yeah, yeah. I used to do that a lot, and I think I've done it a few times in this video, but it's been about 30 minutes, and it's been very minimal, so, I think my commentary videos would be so much better if I were to do them now, as opposed to the crap I made back then. So, again, my videos dropped in quality, somehow, even though, like, yep, they were never good. So, because, I don't know, my heart wasn't really in it anymore. I didn't really feel like making videos anymore. It felt like a chore, coming up with rants and discussions and then carrying them out, and they were pretty rushed because I just wanted to get done with them quickly and to just get some content out to keep my audience happy, and to keep them from, begging for more videos, because there were some people that did that, because surprisingly some people liked my videos for whatever reason. So I continued making videos because it just felt weird not making videos. So, force of habit, kept making videos, and my subscribers were happy with that, even if my videos weren't very good. So, like I said before, my videos got really, really stale. They continued getting more stale because I was doing less rants and discussions, and I just started doing some more random BS commentary videos and solos that I'd already done before. That's something I'm guilty of. I've repeatedly done the same solo Like, how many solo VPs do I have on this channel? It's probably some ridiculous amount. Um, Actually, I think the only solos I have on this channel are VPs because I used to have solo CFOs, but I removed them for whatever reason. I know there was the final day. I know there's a final days of Toontown solo VP, and I think I did a CFO, but I don't know. I was scrolling through my videos earlier. I don't think I saw it. It might still be there, but I don't know. It might be gone. I don't remember why, but um, I used to have, and I think my original solo VP is gone, which no real loss there. It was a kind of crap show, and I think my latest solo VP, I have a solo VP with Milton that I redid the solo that I thought was a really good solo because I barely used anything. So I have that one, and I have a few with Spade and a few of. I have one of Toontown Infinite, and then I don't, like I said, I don't think I have any solo CFO videos anymore. I don't have any solo CJ videos anymore. I don't have any solo CEO videos anymore. And the reason for this is because when I got monetized, all those videos, they had music in them, so I had to get rid of them. I had to get rid of a lot of my videos because they had music in them. So, in order to get monetized. So, I got rid of those videos, so I only have solo VPs on my channel. I wish I could somehow find all my other solos because my channel feels incomplete now that I don't have the rest of the solos, but it doesn't really matter because there are millions of solos on YouTube of those bosses, and a lot of them where they did a better job. I mean, if you want to watch a solo, go watch Howling Ninja Dog. That dude's solos are something else. Go look at that dude's solos. My solos were put to absolute shame because of his, compared to his, whatever I am trying to say. So I eventually ended up moving back to Mallow45 just because the whole monetization thing didn't go as planned. So I was just thinking, why am I even here anymore? Why am I on ATL Spade? Why am I on this channel that has this cringy, stupid name? So I moved from ATL Spade to Mallow45. I think I deleted ATL Spade, which again was a dumb move because even though the videos on there weren't good at all, it'd be nice to go and look at the old videos and reminisce, that would be cool. That's why I'm glad I didn't delete all my videos on Mallow45 after I left, So now I can go back and reminisce of all the times I had on Toontown. So I made a video that I don't remember. I actually think this was before I moved back to Mallow45, but just a little bit, but I ended up making a video that severed my friendship with Kyle and Lefty basically for good. I remember saying that I hated them, which that was taking things a bit too far. I don't even remember what I was so mad about. Obviously, if I don't remember, it wasn't very important. So I said that I hated them, and obviously they didn't take too kindly to that, and we stopped being friends. So that was that. I wasn't friends with Kyle and Lefty anymore, and I still continued playing the game and, doing YouTube with them. They were pretty, I think that they were pretty hostile towards me at times. They didn't give me nearly as hard of a time as they did Sperry. They gave Sperry a really hard time for whatever reason, even though he didn't do anything to deserve it. But yeah, they did not like me. They did not like me at all. And obviously I didn't like them at all if I said that I hated them. I'm on neutral terms with them now, but we don't talk at all. We haven't talked in years, except I tell them happy birthday sometimes, but that's it. We don't talk anymore, so, we're not on hostile terms with each other, but we're not friends either, so sorry to disappoint anyone that was hoping we were still friends and, like to shoot the breeze on Skype and whatever, but that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in years, so sorry for the disappointment. So I made a few more random low quality videos that weren't anything special, and after that, Toontown's closing was announced shortly after I moved back to Mallow45, which that, obviously was a very somber announcement. My childhood was basically being taken away from me. The game I loved was being taken away from me. But, the announcement, it didn't hit me right away. I guess, because the game was still there and it wasn't gone yet, but rest assured, it definitely hit me like a truck later on. It didn't hit me when the game closed either. It was probably a few months after when I just missed the game. I missed playing it. After not playing it for a few months, I really wanted to play it again, and I had no way to play it. So backtracking a little bit, the day Toontown closed, Toon Pulse was announced, which, as we know, it later became Toontown Rewritten, but it was Toon Pulse at first. That's what it was announced as. But I got excited for that. I was hopeful that they could bring back the game I really loved, but you know, I knew that it would be a long time coming, so I wasn't getting my hopes up at that moment because it was going to be a long time, obviously, as we all found out. So I started talking to my Toontown friends much less after the game's closure, which makes sense. There was no Toontown anymore, so I started talking to my Toontown friends less. There were my really close friends that I still talk to on Skype and whatnot, like Murphy and Ugly Corny and MERZ and Sperry sometimes, and those guys. It was a lot of fun, just shooting the breeze with them. But it wasn't the same without Toontown. So, and I also talked to my friend Queen Kit Kat quite a bit. She was also a friend that I have kept in contact with quite a bit after the game's closure. So after that, a few months later, it was around November and December, I think. I missed the game a lot. That's probably the times where I missed the game the most because it was, Thanksgiving break and Christmas break, and, I remember having a lot of good times over long breaks playing Toontown because I didn't have schoolwork and whatnot to worry about. So, Thanksgiving break and Christmas break with no Toontown, it was definitely pretty weird for me. And my YouTube was obviously pretty inactive because there was no Toontown. I didn't have anything to make videos about, so it kind of just sat there and collected dust, kind of like it's doing now. So yeah, really nothing going on from that end, that spectrum. And summer 2014 rolled around. Actually, was it? I don't know if it was. It was May, I think. It was right before my summer break was going to start, so that rolled around, and I got a beta key for Toontown Rewritten. I don't actually remember how I got this beta key, but I got one. And, despite the many problems it had, because it had a lot of them, it really did. Oh, man. Not good times, but I was playing Toontown again. This was right when cogs were added, so there was actually stuff to do. So, you know, I was having some fun playing Toontown again. It was a weird feeling. And around that time, Toontown Infinite was announced. It was basically the remnants, I think, of Team FD that were making Toontown Infinite. So it was weird seeing people that had terrorized the game, Toontown Online, for so long. It was weird seeing them, you know, trying to make a game, trying to create a game for all of us to have fun on, rather than, create mischief for all of us to be annoyed by. So it was weird. But it seemed really promising. I was really hopeful for it. It seemed like it had more potential than Toontown Rewritten. It seemed like it was more well made and would have more features, and it seemed like it was being developed much faster. But, despite that, obviously it created drama because Toontown Rewritten didn't want any competition. Even though in the long run, Toontown Infinite was no match for Toontown Rewritten. There was no way, because there was just a lot working against Toontown Infinite. Like, there were a bunch of hackers on the team. Okay, there were hackers on Toontown Rewritten, but they kept that on the DL for a long time. But there were known hackers on Toontown Infinite, and they were at the forefront. Like, Lefty was one of the main developers, and of course FD Greencat FD was one of the main developers. I don't know what he goes by now, but I'm sure you all know him as FD Greencat FD. Everyone knows that name that's a part of the Toontown community. So, they were two of the heads of that project, and that turned people off. And there was also the fact that Toontown Rewritten had already was a thing way before Toontown Infinite. So, you know, I was still excited for Toontown Infinite. I wanted to play Toontown Infinite. So, when it came out, it was pretty unplayable. It was kind of bad. It was really bad. But that was expected because it was a beta, and it was an open beta at that. Just right off the bat, which was pretty crazy. But I was grateful for it because I wanted to play Toontown. So as time went on, it did become more stable and it became perfectly playable. And I was having myself a good time. But you know, the player base in Toontown Infinite compared to Toontown Rewritten, it paled in comparison to Toontown Rewritten. Let me tell you that right now. That I think the high for Toontown Infinite, the all-time high, was 900 players on the game at once, and that is very, very weak compared to Toontown Rewritten's high. I think Toontown's Rewritten high is probably between 5,000 or 6,000, which that's I think that's about the amount of players that were on every day during Toontown Online's later years. And I think that number on Toontown Online was obviously inflated by all the Parkers in the game. So Toontown Rewritten was definitely, had as much players, if not more, than Toontown Online's later years. I don't know. I don't know about now. I don't know if it's more or less now, but at that time it was pretty successful compared to Toontown Infinite. Very successful compared to Toontown Infinite, actually. So we, despite the player base problem, me and my friends, we continued playing. It didn't really matter to us because we only played, we played the game with each other, so we didn't need other people. So we continued playing Toontown Infinite because we liked the features. We really liked the features. We liked how the grind wasn't as big on the game, and it had better features. I think the bosses definitely got a bit harder. So yeah, we really liked that game more. We liked the we didn't we liked the grinding reduction part of it. Sorry guys, I had to bring it apart for a second there. But I didn't make that many videos during this private server era of my Toontown YouTube career. I think the only videos I made were solo VP maxing VP in a discussion video. I know there were a few videos I made before these private servers actually came out, but during my playing time, I made very few videos, and they were pretty irrelevant. Like that one discussion video, it was pretty incoherent. Like the rest of my discussion videos, I think it was a 20-minute long rambling mess, which I'm not unfamiliar with making. So, and then came the inevitable end to my road on Toontown. The community had become ridiculously toxic. Not only that, but I just found that the two private servers just didn't hold up to the original in my eyes. It did not feel the same. Playing those servers, it didn't feel the same as Toontown Online, and I don't think it ever could. It's just not the same. For whatever reason, it's obviously the same gameplay and whatnot, but the memories I have on the old game, Toontown Infinite and Toontown Rewritten could never hold a candle. And I'm pretty sure Infinite's gone now. I think it ended a few months after I quit, so I quit at a pretty good time, because if I'd continued playing Toontown Infinite, I would have been pretty annoyed with its closing. So I'm glad I got out when I did. So back to the whole toxic thing, the community being toxic. A bunch of people were getting swatted. I think Smirky got swatted. I think Joey got swatted, and I was just sitting here going, "Is this really happening?" We are the Toontown community, Toontown, and man, this community is as toxic as they come. So I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I didn't find the game fun anymore. The community was there was just so much hostility. It was just anarchy, and most of my friends, that had been with me through most of it, you know, they were gone. They were no longer really a part of Toontown, so I didn't really see a reason to be on there anymore. So I just, you know, made my quitting video and I was gone. I deleted all my tunes and I was gone. I made all my videos private for the longest time. I didn't actually delete them, but obviously there was just a random day where I just decided to release them all again because I was sitting there like, what's the point of this? You know, I should just let them I should just let them all be public again, you know, just in case people want to feel nostalgic and whatnot. So I made all my videos public again. So I took my leave from YouTube. You know, I was gone. You know, obviously I still upload every now and then. I upload little silly videos and I upload Smash videos. The only reason I upload those Smash videos is because you can upload them directly from your Wii U. So I just figured. So sometimes when something silly happens, I'm just like, why not post it on YouTube? Because it just doesn't take long. I just do it directly from my console. So, you know, my YouTube is basically just collecting dust at this point, aside from my last upload and this upload, which is might be one of my longest uploads ever. So, it's been about 2 years since I quit, and what's changed? Well, right now I am in my sophomore year of college. I'm pursuing my communications degree, and that is going quite well. And in my free time, I play Smash Brothers, as you guys can probably see from some of my random uploads. I like to play that game, and I've been going to tournaments for about a year now. It's basically around exactly a year now. I think like 13 months. So, you know, that's what I have been doing with my free time. You know, that's the game I mostly play now. And I enjoy it greatly. I made a lot of friends because of it, like I did with Toontown. So, you know, I found something else to occupy my free time with. So, and if you, for some reason, wanted to see me play in tournaments, my tag is CC, just CC, just capital letter CC, and I am in a crew that's in my town called Typo. You know, I say crew, it sounds pretty legit, but it's not. It's just we're just a group of friends that happen to live around the same area, and we all play the game, so we're Typo. So if you search Typo CC on YouTube, you can find a lot of videos of me playing, a lot of videos of me winning, and then there's a lot of videos of me getting freed up. So yeah, if you're curious, then you can go check out me playing the game in tournament. So in closing, I'm obviously no longer a part of this community, but I will always be grateful and thankful towards this community because it gave me a lot. Even though there was a lot of bullcrap that I had to deal with in this community, especially the later years, it gave me a lot. I ended up making a lot of good memories. I made a lot of good friends because of this community, and I will forever be grateful for it to that. You know, I will always love Toontown. You know, even if I don't find the game fun anymore, I will always love it because it was my childhood and it really gave me a lot. I really, really am grateful to this community, and I'm grateful to all my subscribers who stuck with me over the years and, you know, are watching right now. I really doubt that all my subscribers are still active on YouTube. I think I have around 2,500 subscribers, and I would be I would be lucky if even a third of them are still active, or a fourth even. So, you know, I'm just really grateful to all of you that are still watching, and I'm grateful to all my friends that I've made. Even if I didn't mention you, like I said, I kind of have a bad memory. So, if I didn't mention you, you know, don't get offended. If we're still friends and we met through Toontown, I love you. I really do. And I love Toontown, and I always will, because it really gave me a lot, like I've said for the millionth time. So, man, I don't think I'm very good at closing videos. So, I'll just close it now. So, this is Mallow45, once again, signing off. I will say, though, I do have stuff planned for the future. I'm not going to say what exactly I have planned, but this channel, it's not dead. It's not dead yet. So, I'll see you soon.